All right. So my camera equipment is from the late 90s. It's not. It's actually like 2007, but
It's the same thing. It's the late 90s when it comes to tech.
okay. So, let's see. I want to start with some local data. If you need information on stuff happening locally, don't go through the media filter. Don't listen to politicians. Go to this app, which is the Johns Hopkins COVID-19 map. Look at it there. See that? It's interactive. You can scroll through and it's up to date. It updates like every half hour. This is actual data. So if you can click on your own area, your own neighborhood, and if you see a dot, you can click on it and it will tell you exactly how many cases are in your area. Pretty sweet, useful tool in times like these. And honestly, if you want information, I would suggest not watching any of those fucking hose heads and just looking at that map because nothing beats data, just stone cold hard data, rock hard data.
Oh, it's
like
so hard.
Full on raging data.
Yeah,
dude, it's crazy like that. So you've got that. Apparently, I read some shit that there is a suspected case, is what it said in the Dalles. Did you read that today?
No, but that,
It's not on
they're just going to pop up everywhere now.
Yeah, it's not on the Hopkins page yet. So I guess it wasn't confirmed with them. But let's see. Let's look at where we're at right now in our lives. So Yakima. Okay, well, it's good a time as any to glitch out on me. 51 and 1 death in Yakima. And then right here, we got 6 in Klickitat. One of them's West Klickitat. Hood River still just 1. Given like what I've been hearing about how long it takes for people to get test results back,
Between 2 and 7 days is what they tell people.
America, baby, best country in the world. Well,
like, what do I do for the next 7 days? Nothing.
Yeah. So, like record amount of people applying for unemployment. The health insurance thing. If your employer covers your health insurance, it's pretty much fucking useless when you're laid off, isn't it? So I just want to say something to the listeners out there about health insurance. No country in the world except America has health insurance.
The way that we do.
The reason we have it is because we can't afford health care. So instead of making health care affordable, we created a middleman you know what I mean, to pay. It's a scam. It's a first world scam. And just getting political really quick here about the Affordable Care Act.
Well, same. Wait, before you go back.
It's a nightmare. I'm just saying the Affordable Care Act is like, the president at the time, that current administration, I'll just say that so it's not about a person, made it mandatory to do business with health insurance companies. Mm-hmm. They didn't take on the juggernaut, but anyway, instead they made it law for you to do business with
One
them.
of the reasons that things are so expensive is because of that shoddy system, and they inflate the prices of everything because they know that they're going to charge Medicaid and Medicare, and basically the taxpayers pay for everything anyway. So
right, and there's a lot of nuance too, right, with drugs and equipment.
Yeah,
like little other weird little markets that are involved, right?
Right. But there's different pay scales. Like if you walk into a doctor's office or a hospital and you're a guy that has $1,000, it's going to be cheaper if you have the money to pay for something than if they have to charge Medicaid, they're going to charge $4,000 instead of whatever they would have charged you if you had the money to pay for it. So it's broken. Our system's all fucked.
That is a very broken system. And I mean, that's the capitalist system.
Yeah.
And I have this like quick hypothetical about our capitalist system here, which is, imagine there's a small town and there's a factory in that town and they make light bulbs. And the light bulb factory, they become a huge part of the town. They're paying property taxes or basically they become part of the economy. And just like capitalists do, they start projecting out. We're going to make more next year, more, they have all these projections. And next thing you know, these towns become reliant on this factory, not just for jobs, but for all the other revenue that's generated from this huge business. And then one day, one of the guys who works there comes in and says, I discovered a chip that will increase the light bulb's life by 200 times. If you're the CEO of that company, you're sitting in your desk thinking, okay, if I do this, I'm losing
Kill that idea.
200% of my profit. And entire systems are going to collapse around you. That's how innovation stalls.
Yeah. Efficiency isn't always worth money right away.
Especially once you've already set that in motion, meaning we need this money next year. We're reliant on this tax revenue. We can't do this and this and that without it. We've become reliant on it. So maybe don't. Like, seriously, we should be like fucking Star Wars right now, man. Where's my hovercraft?
Yeah, where's my hoverboard?
Where's my aluminum Falcon?
Not the one with the rollers on it. That's bullshit, and you all know it.
And everybody knows, like, you know, I'm not going to talk anymore about that, but everybody knows Tesla. Everybody knows there's other energy sources. Everybody knows we're being fucked. And you're being fucked, too, if you're one of those people out there who are a pro-capitalist, who see no problem with capitalism. Believe it or not, your gas mileage in your car is the same as your grandparents were.
Did you know?
You're still paying the same amount of fucking gas. Like, the car, the efficiency is the same as it was like 70 years ago. So
did you know that the sun is
you're
actually
getting
made
screwed.
out of money?
Which currency?
All of them.
There's only one currency, dude.
Yeah, but the sun rays are just like denominations.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's why our healthcare system has gotten to where it is. And this whole pandemic is just exposing the volatility that a lot of us, like James and myself, have already been well aware of. Other people, and I'm not saying other people aren't smart enough to, they probably just don't have fucking time. And I got too much free time. Not free.
Maybe.
Right now,
Especially
I got some
right
free
now.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck NA, I got free time. So,
Hey man, free time ain't free.
So, free time ain't free.
Don't look into that.
No, I like it. I think there might actually be some truth to that. So the weird new grocery store norms, I'm sure, are making people feel anxious and awkward. And I just, encourage you to just be smile, be friendly to people. And you're in the grocery store, everybody's nervous, everybody's anxious. We all know it's weird. Find weird, awkward sex jokes to talk about.
Right, in line. People love that.
People love that, especially families. I've
Bring
noticed.
a bottle of bleach to spray the people that come too close to you. You just... And they're like, whoa, Jesus.
I saw a photo that I have some in-laws that live in Phoenix, and they sent me some photos. I think I told you of the squares that they put tape on the floor for your shopping cart. So
yeah,
you have to wait, and there's like a line you follow. Yeah, and honestly, that type of behavior is being part of the solution. This shit, it's just contagious as fuck.
Yeah, it's going to take, all of the necessities, everyone that has to be out there doing stuff, like they got to find ways of separating and, keeping distance from each other. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah. We commend you, grocery stores, for figuring out a system where people don't have to touch each other in line.
Yeah. And it protects them and their communities so they can come back and buy more groceries.
I would also like to say, shout out to all those grocery store workers. Like, what a crazy time to have that job. And it's like doctors and grocery store workers, and they're the people keeping all of this together for us right now.
And they have the most to lose, and they're in a vulnerable situation by providing that service too.
High stress. Mm-hmm. So I'm just hang in there, guys. Hang in there.
Yeah. So one great way to save money, if you're not aware, is to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, I don't know. You can make really just boring shit amazing with just a couple of touches. I don't know. A lot of people out there probably don't. Lots of people just eat out all the time or just eat frozen food. Like, what do they do? And they're looking in their cupboards and in their pantries like, what is that thing?
Freezer burned pizza again.
Totino's Pizza. Remember that video? The flood? It's like this reporter talking to this lady who escaped her house in a flood. And she's like, it was crazy. The water just kept coming in. She's like, I grabbed my dog and 2 Totino's pizzas. And we laughed. You haven't seen that?
Yeah. Whatever gets you through.
Oh, yeah.
Sense of normality. It's just sometimes it's just $1 pizza that gets
Yeah.
people through.
Yeah, no, fuck those keepsakes and photographs of like your family. Grab those 2 pizzas. That's where her head was
My
at.
diploma.
Like, yeah.
My social security card. Fuck that. Get the pizza.
Get the Totino's pizza. Anyways, yeah, learn how to cook. That's a great way to save money. Saving energy is good. That's what I'm doing. I'm being extra vigilant about keeping lights off. Okay, I still slip up once in a while. These were on when I got in here. I didn't.
Yeah, that one's really bright.
Yeah, well, somebody left that on a few days ago. But yeah, conserving energy, learning how to cook. Rent's coming up. And I mean,
I can't wait.
Well, here's some Mad Max hypothetical. Like, what if it was everybody was just like, fuck the world and fuck my neighbors, and everybody's like, I'm evicting people because they can't get to work. How would you evict people? You couldn't.
You're not.
Yeah, you couldn't. It'd be like
There's nowhere to
millions
go.
of people. It'd be millions of people. What's the sheriff going to go to his entire neighborhood and evict
No.
people? No.
They've already said they're not going to do that.
I know. There's still no moratorium in Washington, though, is there?
Oh, I don't know.
Only in
man.
Oregon.
It's interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I have the money set aside to pay my rent, but I sure could use it for a whole lot of other stuff right now.
That's
so
the conversation going around my house.
I'm
too.
going to approach that little towards the first of the month. I'm going to call my landlord and be like, hey, what are your expectations of us right now? Because we're willing to meet you in the middle of whatever those are. So hopefully she's reasonable, but you never know. She's probably watching this right now like, no way.
I wonder. I mean,
Your rent just went up.
everybody has their own unique situation they have to deal with right now. I bet it's not the same for everybody. I'm sure some people are in the same boat. You think about lower income apartments. You're talking about an entire complex that won't have rent.
Yeah. And if somebody's, it, trickles up, like we said before, it's like mortgages, you know what I mean? It's like they're going to have to alleviate the mortgages for a little while.
Right. Because, yeah, exactly.
Because those people are going to be super stressed out.
They're the ones who aren't
that have
gonna get
the
their
money
rent.
to kick the people out. So,
Yeah.
I guess not if we don't pay them, they won't have the money. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And I do now understand what you were trying to say in that previous podcast about you were saying like it would just disappear if it just went to mortgages.
Right.
But
Yeah.
It wouldn't help. You said it wouldn't help stimulate the
anything.
economy. It would
Right.
just go to cover a base and then it would never reach the economy.
Correct.
Because that makes sense.
Sorry if I wasn't clear. I
No,
tried.
it's all good. It's hard to do podcasts. My head's going a million miles an hour. Anyway, so NPR, CNN, MSNBC are all now not airing the president's daily campaign rallies. Press rally.
Briefings?
I don't know. He's just on TV talking about himself every day.
Yeah.
I'd say don't air it unless there's
Picking
a fucking
fights with everybody.
Dude, that guy is such a fucking pussy diva. He's been whining about sketch comedy actors and shit. Fucking tweets 150 times a day. You know who else does
He
that?
he's like-
Teenage girls do that shit.
He's like a
bitch.
comedian troll.
Yes.
He's like the biggest comedian troll we've ever had.
Totally. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to air those daily campaign rallies either unless there's a public health official who has critical information that the American people need to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear Trump talk about how fucking reporters he doesn't like and shit. Like that's
this whole thing.
waste of fucking time. And
Everyone needs to go back to work.
Yeah, and
next week. No, don't.
And
Ignore
everybody-
that.
right.
Don't do that.
Right. And everybody knows, like, I'm sure you've seen the headlines, like some dude fucking died from listening to Trump because he took some pill Trump fucking recommended.
I'm sure.
That's what I guess that's the what the networks drew the line at that. Well, someone died. Like they should have stopped airing it minute fucking one. That's what I think. But so anyway,
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if they could just get Obama to go in and do all the talking?
ooh, wow.
He could just be
That'd make people feel
their
comfortable.
mouthpiece.
The other thing I read this and I just thought it was hilarious, so I'm just going to repeat it. It's you can't gaslight a virus.
Yeah, true.
Like this is so out of Homeboy's element. being stuck in the White House. He can't go golfing. He can't go on camp. He can't go to his
Stir crazy.
his cult parties and shit like that. So like he's hating life, and I'm loving that he is.
How many times do his aides rip his phone out of his hands and delete all the tweets he's trying to send out?
Oh shit.
No, Mr. President, you can't say that. I can do what I want.
So
Thanks, Russia, or whatever the fuck he's got going on.
And so you another great thing about our amazing administration and totally functional, super stable genius administration that we have in Washington right now, even with the 18 vacant posts, is you mentioned this also. You also mentioned this in a previous podcast that we did in fact turn away offers for free tests from South Korea and Germany.
From Germany, yeah.
And
they were the first ones out with the tests.
That have the most accurate test. And we're like, no. We're going to, because we want to make money off them.
Yeah.
That's your administration. Like, we could have had this shit weeks
and not
ago.
just that, like, they had
For free.
specific people they wanted to make the tests, and there was a
Right.
whole bunch of private companies that were like, just give us the green light to go on this. And they
Right.
didn't. They waited a long time to do that.
They did,
So
and you're
we're
right.
feeling that right now.
We
'cause
are, yes.
None of the, a lot of the tests are inaccurate. They're coming out with false negatives and false positives, and they don't really know what to do, so...
Right. So that's factual information that
Yeah.
the first tests that the CDC gave out were producing faulty results.
Yeah.
So, like, it's the American way. It's a Fisher-Price test, right? It's generic as shit, just like every other cheap piece of crap that we
They'll get
put
it
out in
dialed
this
in.
fucking
It's
country.
just-
Like, it's
unfortunate that it took them so long.
yeah.
you know?
Well, it's not unfortunate. They didn't have to. They're
I know.
fucks. Sorry, now I'm trying not to get mad. Blood pressure down. Blood pressure down.
Breathe
Jeez,
in
man,
through
it's
your
so annoying.
microphone. Oh, this thing smells good.
We already knew Washington was dysfunctional, and we knew day one that this was a conversation day one inauguration was holy shit, like what would happen in a crisis. And I don't think anybody visualized a pandemic as being the crisis. But now that we're here, it's like, oh fuck, it's like the crisis of all crisis.
Yeah,
like
it's pretty worst case scenario.
Like it's 2020, we were almost engaged in World War III. Now it's a fucking pandemic. It's only March, and then we have a very dysfunctional administration, and they don't know what to do because this isn't fun. They're losing money. Trump himself, God, I said his name, is losing money because of this. So that's his motivation. Like, we need to get back to work because I'm losing money. Nobody's going to my golf courses. Sorry.
They had to craft that stimulus bill around him not tapping into it for his companies because they didn't trust that he wouldn't find some loophole to siphon money off of your money.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, voters. Thanks to the cult.
Also, I know that this is how it works, but I was disheartened this morning when I read, 96-0, they voted to pass the stimulus bill. And then I read a little closer, goes to a vote on Friday. Like, wait, what? It just said they vote. Okay, so be more clear. You voted to vote on it later, but it still hasn't happened yet.
Right. So Congress approved it. Now the Senate has to approve it. And yes, there should be a way to streamline this kind of shit in
You
a
would think
goddamn
so.
global pandemic.
Yeah.
But no, welcome to American bureaucracy, dude, where everything's got so much red tape and so much special interest involved. And that's on both sides. Like that bill, and I know the left was sneaking shit into the bill too. Like
They both do.
Yeah,
It's-
they both do it, but it starts somewhere. And I believe it's like
Scandalous.
it is. But is it though? Think about what the result is. We have cleaner air. That's what they're fighting for. The other guy, he
Yeah.
wants to make money for himself. Like, I don't know.
I think there was a clause where they're like, they
think
have
it's-
to clean up around one of those pipelines and stuff. It's not the worst stuff ever. It's
Right,
just the timing
right.
is off.
Well, they do this all the time.
know.
Both sides do this all the time, but one of them makes money and the other one doesn't.
When they make
And I
money,
think
they call it pork.
Fuck, now we're talking about
They
politics.
sneak their pork.
We're talking about politics because we're in this situation because our fucking government
I'm going to talk
sucks.
about pork later.
Fucking, at least, you know what? At least we, depending on where you're at, I'm confident in the municipalities around me. Like, even the Hood River Sheriff's Department, they're doing everything right. And they're putting out crystal clear, comprehensive information. I'm getting the same thing from White Sam and Bingen.
It feels that people are taking it pretty seriously here.
Yeah. And I don't know, like they're being proactive.
Sure.
And yeah, unlike the government is what I'm saying. Like the
yeah.
government at large, the federal government doing
yeah.
absolutely shit, but our local governments, our governors are like, okay, fuck it. We'll do our jobs because those guys are busy. They're still busy making money or figuring out how to save it now, motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're
And
still talking about what they're
happening.
going to do.
They're going broke, dude. And that's why they're hating it. And you know what? Rush Limbaugh is still saying it's like a conspiracy. Did you know this?
What else would he say?
How disgustingly fucking deranged is that motherfucker?
I don't know, because he's the most vulnerable too. So I bet he's saying it from some bunker underground right now. It's nothing like the beard bunker, but I bet you he's got his own bunker.
It's weird because he does have a beard now, and he's not allowed in the beard bunker.
Not in this one, no.
No, Rush Limbaugh's a fucking hack. I don't understand how dudes like that, like Alex Jones, how they get bases. Is there really that many dumb motherfuckers out there?
Remember when he would just talk constant shit about these druggies, this and that, and you're like, you find out later, it's like he takes 48 Vicodin a day.
Yeah, that's
like 20 years ago.
And that's like not
It's just
unusual.
hypocritical. I don't know. It's neither here nor there.
That whole culture is a hypocritic culture. You know,
try not to live that way.
Check this out, man. The only thing that creates division is ideology, right?
Sure.
So I mean, I'm saying like you have a certain ideology, and
strife will also do that.
Well, let's get an example. Like somebody believes in something for some reason, they've chosen to believe in it. Like abortion for some people. For some fucked up reason, this is like a huge deal breaker, right? We can't be friends because you want to kill babies. And all of a sudden, it's like all this faux outrage.
And it's not
they're really invested
black
in
and
it.
white.
But my point is that ideology is the only thing that creates that divide. If it was a conversation like, I believe in this, and the other person said, I believe in this, and they just talked about it, we'd all be friends. But when someone is like, no, fuck you, you're fucked, and especially when it's based on imaginative things, which is... I'm not saying I believe or disbelieve, but the soul right now, as far as we know, is imaginative. So if that's the argument that the human soul is being destroyed, I'm just saying it's an ideology. It's a belief.
Now is a time for people to start thinking outside of their ideologies too. Like this is a great opportunity for people to look around and take some stock in the things that matter to them and really like hone in on the stuff that brings you value to your life and maybe chop some of that dead wood of things that don't. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to be profound or anything. I just feel like that's super obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, like, just with ideologies, like, it's once people get locked into them, no matter how compelling the evidence is, even when they look it right in the face, they still, like, waver and believe there's some other explanation, you know? And it's, even if it's just, the odds are, like, huge, they'll still go with the comfort zone ideology. Mm-hmm. That's why you could put it right in their face and they just do not see it. So, yeah. They get locked into that kind of stuff. They can't change their minds. I mean...
People like to build those walls.
Why?
I don't know.
What is that? What's going on?
They don't want to change.
Is it
you get comfortable with something and you don't want to change it
and also that kind of like...
But that's human nature. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to constantly evolve and, you know, I don't know.
No, like, remember Letter to a Christian Nation?
Of course.
And he was,
Sam Harris.
And he was talking about how also psychologically what's going on is all of us want to feel like we belong to a group. Mm-hmm. And that's how people get sucked into white supremacist groups who are like, I had no idea I was even, you know, that I could even be seduced into something like that. And... here we are.
Well, they trick you with some, you know, ideology that they know that you believe in, and then they do the bait and switch, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, no black people," or whatever. But I don't know. It's not many people fall for that shit anymore.
Yeah. Well, no, they do actually.
Some.
Yeah.
But they're, you know.
But I mean, okay, back on track though. It's just maybe that's what it is psychologically. It's like this group is taking me in, and I belong here.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe if you're vulnerable that way in your mind, like that's something you've wanted in your life and you haven't gotten, you'll jump on board with an ideology that has more, you know, it's like full of Swiss cheese of fucking loopholes in the ideology, and you know it, but you're still like, maybe there's some other explanation.
There is. Yeah, people treat people shit.
No, I mean like
you're around people that they're like super nice. You know, they're like, hey, come in, we need you.
Like cults.
We're the church of.
No, I meant
come on in.
I meant the person who's seduced knows that the ideology is flawed, but they want to believe there's some other explanation. Maybe there's a reason for all those flaws. That's what I meant. Like, no, maybe other people are missing it. Like I'm saying they convince themselves to believe that ideology.
Well, it's
regardless
easy to
of
do.
how compelling the evidence is or the information.
It's the easiest thing to do.
Well, yeah, and then you feel good because you belong to a group, and then you get mad at people who don't believe what your group believes, and
sure,
yeah.
Sure.
And then that's how the ideological battles begin and the political divides begin.
Well, like I said, take stock. What matters? What matters to you?
God damn it. Every time we do this, I don't come prepared with a song. And I don't got nothing. What did we do last time? Oh, yeah, that's right. I got it. Oh, damn. 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 Most folks spend their days daydreaming of finding clues. My whole life's been here at the train station, shining shoes, starting when I was 9. On my own, taught myself, doing pretty good. Fuck. And I got my health, memories, and calluses. My hearing's probably next to go. Sometimes I do a little handiwork for extra dough, but mainly this here is how I spend my time. Perfecting a technique I call the dry shine. Most folks put a lot of water on their shoe, but then when it's out in the open air, the shine is gone in 10 minutes. Approach of the job is dumb. In fact, dollars to donuts, the customer won't be coming back. This is the most common mistake of the amateurs, going for big numbers to satisfy their managers. Anyway, the dry shine, the first thing I mean to do, and this part is very important. You clean the shoe, the residue of old polish, keep the shoe from being ruined. All you need to do is use a rag with some cleaning fluid. The shoe's all caked up with gunk, you need to think. Shoe can't breathe, and that's what causes the feet to stink. Took Californian off the market, I believe it was a few years ago, because that leather couldn't breathe. And then you brush, cause what that tends to do is clean the shoe a little more and gets rid of the residue, and then you do the second coat just like the first one. You brush it, you rag it, and voila, your work's done. That's it. Treat each shoe like it's special, care about your work, and be a professional, cause there's a right way to go about a job and a wrong one, and I feel like this way is much better in the long run, cause it ain't about the dollar trying to go fast. Unless you take pride in what you're doing, you won't last. Craftsmanship, it's a quality that some lack. You gotta give people a reason for them to come back. I left out one verse.
I like that song.
I love it. God, what was the verse? It was something about you gotta wash the shoe before the residue part. Whatever. I always forget that line. I'm practicing mumble country. It's gonna be a huge thing. I'm going stone.
I have some riffs for you with mumble country.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I'm gonna read some stuff out of my book. I
Do
think
it.
they're like jokes, but less developed. But I'm just gonna riff through them and see what happens.
Do it.
All right. So I'm not a religious man, so I keep all my spirits all together in a special cabinet. Yeah, I don't know. That's it.
What? Oh, okay. I got you. Just take me a second. Yeah,
I'm 41 and hair grows all over my face and the rest of my body too. And the only thing that separates me from the rest of the animal kingdom is a good set of tweezers. Basically, by the time I start on one side, the other side's grown in and I have to start all over again. I don't know if that's a joke as much as it is true, but I think it's funny. Hopefully, after they clean all the shit off these fans, there will still be some toilet paper left over. Speaking of leftovers,
That's what people need those toilet paper for, is to clean that fan off.
yeah. Speaking of leftovers, I've learned there's only so many things that you can eat pulled pork with that taste good. Hey, you want to scoop a pulled pork in your oatmeal? Maybe. I'll try it. It's only been 10 days of eating nothing but pulled pork, eggs, and root beer. I used to have a 6-pack, but now it's more of like a 2-pack, and Biggie moved into the basement, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Jokes.
The shit fan one. There's so many ways to go with it. I love it.
Yeah, it's got legs.
All right. We're reaching our time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, approaching.
I hope
30 minutes. There it is.
Yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. Leave us
send
comments.
us feedback.
Yeah, Bobby,
just
thanks for the
starting to roll
feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah. Everybody's feeling the weird, man. So let's just like try to relax, have a little fun. I mean, at least we still can. Who knows what tomorrow will bring?
Sure.
So let's
probably
have
a
some
lot
fun.
like this today.
Well, I meant like months from now. What's the
Yeah,
summer
I hear
going to
you.
be like? This is so weird.
There's no use projecting right now. I don't even want to. I'm just kind of living a couple days at a time right now.
Right.
Honestly, seems like what makes the most sense. I'm not gonna make a bunch of plans that I'm gonna have to cancel again.
I hear that.
It's very disheartening. I'm just gonna wait a little bit.
I'll pump this out. You know what? There's no point in me saying this because everything I'm about to say is probably going to change in like 4 hours anyway, huh?
Yeah.
And, okay, well, just for records, let's see, 511,000 confirmed cases as of right now.
Worldwide?
Worldwide. Italy just hit 80,000 just now. And we're at 76. We are 4,000 behind Italy. Spain just hit 56, and Italy just went to 8,000 fatalities, dude.
Oh, man.
That's fucking sad, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Fuck. All right.
On that note,
See you guys later.
see you guys next time.